was lying on his bed, staring at the ceiling, when the door slowly cracked open. His grandfather walked in. Taehyungff immediately sat up. Taehyungff, oh grandpa, come sit down. His grandfather sat beside him, unusually quiet. Taehyungff, is there something I want to say? For a moment the old man remained silent, as if searching for the right words. Then, grandpa, after many years I made a friend from my childhood. Taehyungff listened without interrupting. Grandpa, he says he's failing. He had only one son, and years ago that son died along with his wife. Taehyung's expression remained calm, but his heart grew uneasy. Taehyung, I want you to marry his granddaughter. Taehyung froze. Taehyung, what are you saying, Grandpa? Grandpa, he is under immense pressure, even though his elder granddaughter is married. He raised the younger one with his own hands. At this age, he has no one left to rely on. That's why he came to me asking for this marriage. Taehyung looked away. He had never liked many people. Money had ruined his family once before. His father had died of a heart attack after being betrayed by a powerful businessman. Though they had completed his graduation, at his mother's insistence, he returned to the village immediately, living a simple life with his mother and grandfather. His grandfather had tried many times to stop him from staying in the village. They had never listened. I don't want to get married, Grandpa. That old man signed deeply, Grandpa. I have already given my word. I won't be able to show my face if I break it. He pleaded again and again, then felt cornered finally. And does Mom know? Grandpa, yes, I have already told her. The wedding is the day after tomorrow. They will arrive tomorrow. A wrong post, then all right. He looked first over the old man's face. He put them into a tight embrace, his voice trembling with happiness. Grandpa, I knew you would not say no. I will take care of all the preparations. He left the room smiling. His steps lighter than they had been in years. Tang remained seated on the bed, staring into nothingness. He had just agreed to a marriage he never wanted. You sat alone in your office, countless files spread across the desk in front of you. Since the regular project had turned out to be a massive success, the pressure on your shoulders had only increased. He was already working on the next target, pushing yourself forward without pause. Technically, there is no immediate crisis. Everyone's salary had been paid. The fund still had enough money to last a few more months. Yet your heart felt unbearably heavy. You hadn't slept the night before. Your grandfather's words kept circling in your mind over and over again. Even you didn't know what would happen next, what direction your life was about to take. A sudden knock on the door broke your third smile coming. The door opened and Yon stepped inside. Yon, boss, your grandfather called. You woke up one. Oh, give it to me. You heard his voice. You still straightened. Grandpa, come to the village this evening. The wedding is tomorrow. Choose your bride and dress and bring it with you. Everything else has already been arranged. This word hit you like a storm. My company steer went already. The call ended. He was still standing there, confused, trying to understand what had just happened. He slowly got up from a chair. When you read the parody, I need to leave you. News was you left the room. You remained where you was motionless. You didn't know what was waiting for you. You didn't know what was stepping into. No matter how hard you tried, your heart refused to settle, as if it already sensed that tomorrow would change everything. You step into the boutique quietly, soft eyes, white curtains, and row of elegant bridal dresses surrounded you, each one carrying someone else's happiness. A salesgirl approached you with a polite smile. Salesgirl, good morning, ma'am. How may I help you? Wine, I want to see bridal dresses. Salesgirl, of course, ma'am. What kind of bridal dresses are you looking for? Revealing, gorgeous, sleeveless. You pause for a moment before answering one gorgeous and comfortable. Salesgirl, sure, ma'am. The salesgirls walk away. You sit down on the sofa, your hands resting on your lap. Just then, a couple walk in together. Man, we want to see wedding dresses, and yes, matching dresses, please. Salesgirl, certainly, sir. The couple stood side by side, smiling softly. The man gently adjusted the girl's hair, his touch filled with care. Salesgirl bought several dresses. The girl shook her head again and again. None of them felt right. The man patiently encouraged her to try more. Finally, one dress made her smile. She nodded happily. They bought the rest and left together after following them out of the shop. You was sanity. Today you was alone. You had to do everything by yourself around you. Most brides come with their families. Some had their fiancés holding their hands, whispering opinions, sharing dreams. You didn't even know what your future husband looked like. You didn't know what kind of person he was. His voice pulled you back to reality. Salesgirls, ma'am. You looked up. The salesgirl stood there holding several dresses. Salesgirls, please try this and see which one you like. You nodded and went inside the changing room. One by one, you tried the dresses. Finally, you stood in front of the mirror wearing a simple yet elegant bridal dress. It wasn't flashy, but it felt right. You looked at your reflection for a long moment. Fine, I think this one suits me. Salesgirl smiled warmly. Salesgirls, it really does, ma'am. It looks perfect on you. Fine, I will take this one. Please pack it. The dress was packed carefully. You held the bag tightly. Now, you had to go to the village. Before that, you needed to pack everything. You arrive at the village just before evening. The light roads, the quiet air, the soft golden lights of sunset. Everything felt unfamiliar, yet strangely calming. But the moment you stop in front of the house, your steps froze. This place. Your heart skipped a beat. It was the same house, same address, the same house where you had once met that elderly man, the one who had given you advice when you were struggling the most. Confusion filled your mind. Slowly, hesitantly, you knocked on the door. The door opened, and a middle-aged woman stood there. The moment her eyes fell on you, her face lit up with joy. Without a second thought, she pulled you into a warm embrace. Mrs. Kim, oh, so you are mine! She exclaimed happily. My son's bride, come inside, come inside. You didn't even get a chance to speak. Was dead inside, and the sight stunned you. The entire house was alive. People were everywhere, busy with wedding preparations, decorations, laughter, conversation filling every corner. Some lantern guided you further inside. The woman smiled at you again. Mrs. Kim, the room is small, but I hope you will like it. Fine, it's okay, Auntie. I won't have any problem. Mrs. Kim suddenly laughed. Mrs. Kim, Auntie, who are you calling Auntie? Tomo is waiting. Call me your ma. But quiet for a moment, then you smiled softly. Fine, okay, Oma. Mrs. Kim smiled again. Mrs. Kim, your dinner will be sent to your room. I have a lot of work today, otherwise I would have spent more time with you. Fine, it's okay. Mrs. Kim left. You remained seated, still trying to process everything. You hadn't expected this. The warmth, the sudden acceptance, the way you was welcomed, not like a stranger, but like a family. I was lost in thought when someone knocked on the door. You opened it. You were sweet and fine, Grandpa. Grandpa smiled warmly. Grandpa, so we met again. You hesitated, when, but Grandpa, I am your grandfather's childhood friend. I came to visit him that day. When I met you and heard about your troubles, I gave that suggestion. You felt a little embraced. Why, thank you. Everything is fine now. The old man looked relieved, genuinely happy. Grandpa, don't worry anymore. You worked so hard all the time. Get some rest today. We will talk later. He gently nodded and left. You stood there alone again. Tomorrow, this house would officially become yours, and the man living under this roof, you still hadn't met him. He stood at the altar, hands clenched at his sides. His face was calm, expression red, but inside something was slowly burning. Whisper reached his ears. Grow, careless, cruel. Woman 1, do you know the girl came all the way from the city just to save her position? Woman 2, how do you mean? Woman 1, if she didn't marry, her grandfather would throw her out of everything. She was forced into this. Woman 2, that explains it. Otherwise, why would a girl like her come to a place like this? Woman 3, exactly. It's all about money. This word struck deeper than the last. Tail's jaw tightened. So that's it, he thought bitterly. Just another rich girl playing her game. He wanted to walk away right then, right there, but when he looked toward his grandfather, smiling proud, eyes full of relief, his steps froze. He could not break that promise. The door slowly opened. The room fell silent. You walk in, you wore white, simple, elegant, flowers in your hands. Your steps were slow, controlled, yet every step carried a quiet heaviness. The young didn't look at you. You came forward and stood beside him. He remained silent. The priest cleared his throat. Priest, Kim Taehyungff, do you accept divine as your lawful wife in happiness and sorrow, in health and hardship? Taehyungff didn't hesitate. Taehyungff, I do. Priest, divine, do you accept Kim Taehyungff as a lawful husband in happiness and sorrow, in health and hardship? You swallowed. Your voice was soft but steady. Divine, I do. Please exchange the rings. Without a word, Taehyungff took the ring and slid it onto your fingers. His touch was cold, firm and distant. You rolled your eyes. Maybe he is just a good person, you told yourself. Maybe this is how he is. You may now kiss the bride. Your breath hissed, your heart started racing. Taehyungff stepped closer, but instead of kissing your lips, he gently lifted your hand and pressed a brief kiss on your knuckles, polite, respectful, empty. Applause filled the room. Taehyungff stepped back, his expression unchanged. Your grandfather came forward, his eyes moist as he held your hands and bid you farewell. A few moments later, your sister and niece approached you, whispering words of encouragement. Smiling, you smiled back. Entered the room after an exhausting day. Your body ached, your mind heavier than ever. The moment you stepped inside, you froze. Taehyungff was standing near the window, in his hands some papers. He turned toward you, his face unreadable. He extended the papers toward you. Taehyungff, this marriage means nothing to me. Expect a contract. Your fingers trembled slightly as he looked at the documents. Before you could say anything, he continued, his voice flat, almost indifferent. Taehyungff, when your grandfather passes away, this contract will end. His eyes met yours for the first time, cold, sharp, unforgiving. Taehyungff, after that, you are free to do whatever you want. The words felt heavier than a stab. You stood there silent, your chest tightened. So this was it. Not a marriage, but a deal, a temporary arrangement, a lifeless agreement signed by fate. You slowly took the papers from his hand. Your voice was calm, almost too calm. Why, is that all you wanted to say? I nodded, saying yes. You looked down at the papers once more, then carefully placed them on the table. You didn't cry, you didn't argue. Instead, you met his eyes with a quiet strength that surprised even yourself.